This is Juniper Song, a Forbidden Lands actual play podcast from Stories with Dice. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Scott, hello.
Ed, hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. I thought I'd just start with you for a change instead of the other way around.
Mix it up a bit.
Indeed. Tony, how are you doing?
Hello. All good.
Are you looking forward to this session? I am.
Yes.
Because, Marco, hi.
Hello. I'm hearing an echo.
Well, that can't be good.
It's faint, but I'm hearing it. But let's just proceed and...
Okay, so hopefully, I don't know why. I'm going to just check my other mic's not on, and it's not. Yes, so last session, you decided to murder a Rust brother in cold blood, or warm blood, in this case.
I wouldn't call it murder.
It's subjective to whoever's doing the poking with the very large spear.
And one would say to whoever is being poked.
This is also true.
He's a Rust brother. He deserved it.
Well, that's cool. Well, he is...
And he had, and Ed showed me his image. He had a creepy skull mask. So tell me you wouldn't have, if he showed up with a creepy skull mask, you wouldn't have been happy that I dispatched him.
He wasn't wearing a creepy skull mask.
Was that image that you showed us before an image of what he looked like? Oh, in that case,
no,
I've changed my
that's
opinion.
not what he looked like.
See?
That is an image of him. That is not what he looked like when you met him.
Okay.
When you met him, this sounds ominous.
Well,
are we going to meet him again?
Well, you did meet him, and now he just wasn't looking that way because he wasn't in his ceremonial garb. He was just in his traveling kit.
Right. What I'm saying is that's what these people look like. Their ceremonial garb is creepy, evil shit. So fuck him, and glad he's dead.
Okay. Well,
write a song about it.
So,
How I poked somebody to death. That's going to be our next hit.
His body is floating away, but his camp is still there. I guess we'll start the session there. Two and a half of you is looking at Gray, sort of like, what?
Whatever, he was a Rust brother, he deserved to die. I'm going to check his camp.
We should have asked him first. We don't know this person. You just killed somebody for no reason whatsoever, Gray.
I had a perfectly good reason.
What was the reason?
He's a Rust brother.
That's not enough reason. We don't know this person.
Do you know what a Rust brother
Very nice
does?
to us. It shows us where the... Yes, and we saved you from them, but that doesn't mean that this specific person was gonna do anything to you. It seems like a bit presumptuous.
Whatever, I'm checking out his camp.
Okay, well, as he as you wander over to his camp, you can see there is what's left of the embers of a small fire. There is a bedroll that's laid out on the ground, but there is also a backpack. There is some water and some food in the backpack. If anyone wants to take said food, it will increase their die by 1.
Just out of curiosity, is there any fishing equipment?
Is there any fishing equipment? Well,
because he told us he was going fishing.
Yep. You look through his fishing equipment, and surprise, surprise, you do not find any fishing equipment.
So that's
what you do find
as heck to begin with.
What you do find in his backpack is a skull mask made of a rusted metal cracked mask, and I will share the artwork again. It basically is all cracked and rusting, and it kind of is like a faceplate which you'd be able to put on robes. There is also chains which look like they go on manacles, and there are some dark red and yellow robes all kind of like situated in the bottom of this rucksack. But there does not appear to be much of anything else. There is a flail on the floor, and there is also a scroll case, which is also on the floor.
I will open the scroll case.
Okay, you open the scroll case. It looks like there is a bunch of parchments and stuff inside.
Can I read them?
You can indeed.
Can you read?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you pull them out. Yeah, you could read, I guess. What's your wits?
My wits is 5, my lore is 0.
Yeah, you can read. It looks like it is a bunch of confessions from people. Yeah, multiple confessions from people is what you can read.
Confessions about what?
Yeah. about how they are... Well, let's have a look. One of them is one about not being able to have brought rust into their life. One saying they followed the Protector in error, and so they felt that their life should be forfeit in sacrifice to rust. So there's a lot of that.
I burn it all. I throw the fucking mask into the river.
Okay. Herdon, Andrew, do either of you want to do anything else? Or?
No, I just let him because he seems to be needing to vent his anger. So I will just let him do whatever in any case.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you do that. You burn the parchment scroll. It doesn't take much in the embers to do that.
I take his food. I burn all of his supplies. Throw the mask into the river. Who wants the flail? Does anybody want a flail?
No.
I will probably brain myself if I try and use a flail.
All right. I'll toss the flail in the water.
I will pass. Thank you very much.
Okay. You toss everything in the river.
Yep.
Burn what you can.
Probably thinking about this in a very, practical way, we probably should make sure that the other brothers don't find anything that can link to us.
So great.
I kind of approve of what you're doing.
I think we need to just discuss the elephant in the room here. And I know, your rationale entirely legitimate. However, we can't just stab everybody we meet, Rust brother or no, because next time there might be other people around to see it, and things like consequences. And I don't like consequences because they tend to hurt.
There wasn't anyone around. If there were, I wouldn't have done it. You think I'm an idiot?
Can you guarantee he's dead?
Yes.
Have you seen the body?
Yes, it sank.
Have we?
It sank, and there was a lot of blood.
This is true.
Just hope this doesn't come back to haunt us.
That seems silly. Why would that happen?
Should we go and check out this Ravensong place, see if we can find a very, very stiff drink and then someone to play some music to?
Yeah, let's not mention anything about this when we get to the other town, Ravensong. Just keep it between us.
Yep,
we don't want to...
Telling nobody how we killed the mendicant holy man is probably a really good idea.
Yeah.
He's not a holy man.
We don't know what faith these guys in Ravensong follow.
They might be all Rust brothers, yeah. Good point.
Cass says, I understand, Gray, I understand. She kind of pats you on the back and kind of says, yeah, no, I've got your back, she says.
At least someone in this band has my back.
He was quick. It's not their fault. They're fine.
Don't get me wrong. We'll have your back in a fight, but if we don't have to fight, that would be kind of awesome as well. In a fight like that, I'm always behind you. At least 6 feet behind you.
I know, Baradon, I know.
Well,
anywho, I will lead the way. Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. So you kind of step maybe... Well, there's a road that obviously goes across on this side of the bridge, and that road matches up with the road that heads northeast, southwest, and it follows kind of near to the river. Not right next to the river, but near to the river. And so it kind of follows in the direction down towards the mountains. And I assume you are going to wander in that direction along the road?
Yes. The echo is gone, by the way, so...
Weird.
I don't know what that was all about.
Okay, well, so you're going to make your way following the road, which is, again, much like the other road. It's kind of old stones and sort of shingle, and it hasn't been used for a long time. There's loads of weeds that have grown up on it. Yeah, you make your way further south and you follow the river on your left-hand side as you head towards the mountains in the distance.
Yeah, that seems the right path, so I guess it's easy to follow, no?
It is really easy to follow.
Do I need to roll?
Lead
the way.
If you want to lead the way, you can have an extra +2.
Yeah. So modifier +2.
Yeah, just make sure you don't kind of get yourself into too much trouble.
6, 7, 8. Okay. That should be 8 die.
And you got 1 success. Yep. It is pretty straightforward. It doesn't take long to kind of make your way along the road. And again, it's pleasant enough this afternoon. And you make your way through the plains. You're basically following grassland, and the road kind of winds through the sort of undulating grassland. Every now and then you get closer to the river, and then you get away from the river, all the while heading towards very large mountains in the southwest.
Which we know these mountains, right? Because they were close also to Juniper Song.
Indeed. So this is just like the extension of it. Yeah, you make your way for the rest of the early part of the afternoon, and you don't seem to meet anyone, and you keep going until, lo and behold, you go through yet another hex.
Yay!
Huzzah!
Hexing!
There was much merrymaking.
We are hexing. Move us.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I moved you on the map.
Yeah.
You're making your way through the map, and you come across a palisaded town. Let me give you a quick description of this lovely town as you get towards it. So you're pretty much following this main road. You've got the plains either side, the mountains and the hills behind the town. As you're making your way towards the town, you can see in the distance. Hopefully, you can all see this time.
Very cool.
Settled on the windswept plains, not far from the river, you can see a beacon of survival amid the shifting grasses and biting winds. The wind is like whipping up here. There is a palisade made of thick timber and reinforced stakes. It creaks against relentless air currents, and there is a lot of cawing noises as soon as you get closer, and a whole bunch of ravens basically fly out from the actual palisade, making an almighty sort of racket as they as they kind of like fly out. And as they do that, not long after, you can see a couple of heads appear above the palisade where a small gatehouse stands, which is where the road is going towards. The main road does go past the village, but the gatehouse is sort of facing onto the road, and there's like a small path that leads onto that village. Behind, you can see the mountains and the beginnings of hills in just in the near distance.
Is there anyone at the gate of the palisades?
There's no one at the gate. The doors are shut, or the gates are shut, but you can see two people's heads sticking up over the parapet of the palisade. And one of them looks over at you, and you can see he has a bow in his hands. And he hasn't got the bow raised or aimed at you in any way, but he looks down and, "What are you doing here? Could you all please make a roll, please, of scouting?"
I probably can't, so I won't even bother rolling.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
I don't know. I roll, but it doesn't appear.
Yours has appeared. Yeah, there's no second chance. It's just a passive roll. Yeah, you can see the guy shouts over and goes, "State your business."
Hello, people of Ravensong. We are a merry band of troubadours that would be very happy to be singing for you tonight.
Right.
We are the Folk Vandals Club. Best you've ever seen. And I turn around, kind of show my troupe.
Yeah, you show them.
They're behind me, I guess, because I'm leading the way. So I'm like, I try to, make it like very fancy. Showing.
Feridon strums a few chords on the lute and waves in salute.
Hey, play the tambourine.
Cass is like, "What?" She kind of grabs her tambourine and kind of does that kind of shing, jing, 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 then kind of looks at you in disgust.
You're losing points with the lady. Anduin.
I see that.
The guy kind of goes, "Go get Halvar." And he says, wait there. And they both disappear off of the ring. And
how high is the palisade?
It's about 8.5, 9 foot. Well, it's not particularly high. It's not a massively high palisade.
Is that 10 meter?
Yeah. It's not very much. It's like, 3 meters? 3.5, 4 meters? Yeah, ish. It's enough to basically keep out anyone who, or any creatures and stuff, rather than a concerted attack of a large force. It's not really meant for that.
Or the massive invasive prowess of 4 members of a small rock band.
I think it's fair to say that you're not getting in there. The door opens and you see a broad-shouldered, silver-haired gentleman come walking out with the same person you saw that was on top. And he comes over and says, "Yes, you are..."
My name is Anduin from Juniper Song. We are on the other side of the river. And, since now we felt like it was a good moment to start our touring. You see, we are kind of performers. We decided to start exploring these fair lands and to get to know our neighbors, to show them our progress in singing and playing. And we thought, that could be nice.
It could be nice. He looks at you and says, "You have weapons?"
I do have my knife.
Yes, we must protect ourselves.
He looks you up and down.
But we also have fine musical instruments.
The lute strums again.
Probably finer than our weapons.
He says, Juniper Song, you say? I've not heard of Juniper Song for a very long time. We thought that they had been perished in the blood mist. Well,
Like many others.
who knew? Well, why did you come in? Neighbours, he says.
Do they look weird? Like, can we tell if they have anything that can give them off from Rust Brothers or something like this?
They do not
they
appear
look
to be looking Rust Brothery. They do not appear to have any kind of stuff that looks Rust Brothery. There doesn't appear to be any, like, broken metal. There doesn't appear to be sort of any images to Rust or Hime or anything like that.
Okay.
I mean, that is a much smaller town than Juniper Song.
Ours.
It is indeed.
Shall we burn it to the ground? I only jest.
You say that now, but, it's still early in the session, surely.
I love how Scott shot me them dagger eyes when I said that. He's like, I will fucking kill you.
At least wait for them to prove that they're
all evil, right?
heretic hellspawn before burning them all and sticking spears through them.
Well, he says, come on in. As he kind of like ushers you in, you can see that there is a large building sort of towards the center of the town. You can also see there is a small blacksmithing shop, maybe. But what makes you kind of suddenly feel much better is to the north part of the village, there is a small copse of juniper trees. Tony, you know that these are the same species of juniper tree that grows in Juniper Song.
Can I make a lore check to see if I've heard of Ravensong Village?
Well, why didn't you do that?
You should have done that before.
I probably should have, but I was too busy watching the guy who was telling us get stabbed through the chest with a spear. It tends to distract one from one's, other professions. Let's see.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. I'll take that.
How many successes of that, sir?
3 successes on the lore roll.
Okay. Something twigs suddenly by looking at the juniper trees that are here and thinking, what do I know about it? So somewhere you heard a story from town that before the blood mist and before Juniper Song was sort of like settled, you think that there was a large sort of town or dual city that went across from where Juniper's Song is across to Ravensong. The name of you got 3 successes. The name of the town or the name of the city was called Hymir. And for a long time, you think that in the sort of like pastures around Ravensong and around Juniper Song, you have all those old sort of like structures, and you think that this may be from a very long time ago would have been one city, but it would have been a massive city. It would have been a large city, which you can't quite comprehend because it would cover like 2 hexes worth of, or more of city.
But we haven't seen ruins or anything like that on our way over, have we?
No, you have
very
not.
much been like
Plains
and
it is plains. There's some forest, but mostly undulating plains. Yeah, so you think that's the case, and you think in the back of your mind it has something to do with the juniper trees and the legend of the spirits of the juniper circle. So that kind of like swings to mind, and you think, or you kind of surmise that Ravensong and Juniper Song probably at one point when the city, whatever happened to the city, they became 2 towns or 2 villages. I mean, this is definitely a very small village. I mean, calling it a village is probably very kind to it. You reckon, having a look around town, there won't be more than 50 individuals here? Maybe 2, maybe 3 families at most. And some of the buildings that you see here are empty.
Looking at the people who are here, do they look healthy? Do they look sickly? I mean, do they look inbred? Because if you've got 4 or 5 families and they've been isolated from the world for 200-300 years, it's probably not going to do great things for the gene pool.
No, you imagine that they are very careful about who they breed with, but There's only so many that you can have, but they're not all like kind of, 6-eyed, 27-toed people here. It's, clearly...
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
Exactly. Clearly, they've obviously had some interaction with the outside world, but almost all of them are human, I think. Let me just check my notes. I think they're all human. This is where I'll find out that no, they're not. Yeah, they're all humans. And they all look like they're Alderlanders. So Halvar says, please, come to the longhouse. And sort of like towards the center of town, there is a large 3-story stone and wooden structure, which looks a little bit different to the other structures that are around there. Clearly, it's a different style. And he takes you to the sort of like large longhouse and he ushers you in. You can see a long fire pit in the center of the actual main room. It looks like maybe 2 rooms downstairs. And there are lots of tables around the edge of this large fire. There is also what looks like a mezzanine, which overlooks the fireplace. And you see stairs going up into the upstairs. You can see that that the wood is old and it's really dark and really, really heavy wood, presumably why it has not failed for however many centuries it's been around. And it looks like it's been maintained quite well. There are various old pennants sort of adorning the walls of this large, vast chamber. A lot of the pendants look like they're almost threadbare and worn through. Some of them have got some colours in them, but most of them have kind of been worn through time. A lot of the pennants have some form of tree or foresty kind of motive too.
And can we think that these pennants are kind of heraldry or something like this? Or
yeah.
From the people who were here, I guess.
Probably from a very long time ago.
Do I recognize anything from also Juniper? Like commonalities? Do we have this in Juniper's?
You do not have this in Juniper Song. No, you don't have that at all. You can definitely tell that on some of the pennants there are definitely juniper trees of various different ilks, but it's difficult to tell without having to like take it down and do a proper study.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could easily say a whole handful of them look like they come from the same sort of heraldry, just slightly different. And there's probably about 30 or 40 of them kind of like plastered around the town, the main hall. And it appears this is where a lot of the people are. There are kids running around, families, and Halvar says, these are and he kind of looks over at you, the Folk Vandals Club?
The Folk Vandals Club. It's a bit more dynamic, less pausing between words.
Okay. Well, they said they were going to perform for us, which is really nice. We haven't had anyone, a minstrel or anyone come here to do this for a very long time. So we're really grateful, aren't we, everyone? And they're like, yay! And they're kind of like, yes, that's really nice. And they all kind of like, some of them clap. Some of the kids are kind of like wandering over to you. Definitely people are looking at you, Marco. They're kind of like, one of the kids like, but what is it, Mummy?
I growl.
She hides behind the mom. The mom says, that is a wolfkin. We haven't seen them for a while. The little kid kind of comes wandering over to you and goes, hey, you're a bit like one of our dogs. And the mom like grabs the kid, like pulls him back and goes, that's rude.
What is your name?
She basically ties her hair back. She says, I am Tilly.
Tilly. Hay is for horses. Do I look like a horse to you?
No.
I look like your doggy.
A little bit.
You can scratch me behind the ear.
She looks at her mother. Her mother's like, oh my God, he's going to rip her arm off. But she kind of shrugs her shoulders and then scratches you behind your ear.
My back leg starts thumping.
And she smiles and giggles. And then everyone kind of like breaks the ice and like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, they're more than happy to like settle you in. They have a room for you if you want to stay in a room. They've got some food. Obviously, if you're going to play for them, they'll happily give you food and drink. They don't really have anything else really to give you. They can maybe do some trade. If you've got some damage to like iron item, the blacksmith could probably do something for you. Other than that, that's pretty much what they can offer you.
Right. So we probably let us leave our stuff in this room and we will be happily playing for you. What do you think, guys? Baradon, Cass, Gray, let's go.
This place looks great to me. I mean, thank you for the offer of hospitality, and we look forward to repaying you with song later on this evening.
Well, we look forward to it. A couple of other people kind of like, come and have a look. They want to sort of look at the Wolfkin. They also kind of are very interested in sort of like talking to you and want to find out about what's going on. There is a woman that kind of like wanders, sort of like this wrinkled old lady kind of like wanders over with like thick auburn braids in her hair. She comes wandering over to you, Anduin, and says, "Hey, fellow druid, it's nice to see you."
Are you... Hello. Are you druid of the town?
I am indeed. I am the spiritual leader of this small enclave.
Very well. Are you the only one?
It is just me. I care for the circle, and I obviously oversee all the kind of healing that is required from the town. She kind of like holds, she points to a bundle of dried herbs and stuff that's in like a sack on her side and says, "Yes, I kind of do all those other things that we should do."
Yeah, and I introduce myself. My name is Anduin from Juniper Song.
Yes, we kind of got that. She says, "I'm Etta Waymore. Nice to meet you."
Nice meeting you. Let me know if you require any help on your circle or any other thing that a fellow druid might help you, seeing that you are all alone in this town.
She says, "Well, this is fortuitous because I dreamed of your coming. Raven was very kind, as did Nyalistra. She came to me and told me that you were coming." So, Tony, you know that Nyalistra is the name of the spirit from your village that shows protection. And she says, "We're very grateful for you coming and just being here in a tough time."
Indeed. Well, let me know if you need anything or if you need me to bring any message back to our town. We will be heading back after performing for you fellows.
Well, that would be lovely. Yes, I mean, if there's something we can do, I mean, some kind of trade, perhaps. Maybe your leader can speak with our leader, and that would be really helpful.
We certainly can arrange that.
Be great. She wanders off and sort of like starts speaking to the others. And what's Beridon going to do?
Beridon is just going to walk around and enjoy being somewhere new to draw inspiration from. He's going to listen to people having conversations about people and places that he doesn't know, and because this is the first time in his life he's been in a place that's inhabited by people that aren't people he's seen every day since the day he was born.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is crazy, right? It's you kind of like wander out of the longhouse. There's a rough sort of like handful of buildings, a small sort of copse of juniper trees. But other than that, while it's very nondescript, it is very new. And so, yeah, you kind of look around and, yeah, you kind of drink it all in. The weird thing is that the only thing that's really bothering you is the fact that the ravens are sort of like circling around as you wander around, and they seem to be peering down, and you kind of get a sense that they're watching you as you walk around town. Not that it takes very long. There is essentially one road that goes through town with, maybe 10 or 12 buildings on.
It's just, he's absolutely baffled by just how incredible it is to hear other people speaking. And at one point, he literally just sits on a step, on like a wooden step or kind of like or a boardwalk, and just stares, watching people going about their daily business.
So as you do that, the thing that you realise that when you look up onto the top of that 3-story wooden structure, there is a large, massive raven skull that's actually just under the eaves. You didn't notice when you when you walked in, but as now you're taking a step back and looking up, you can see this large skull. The skull must be the same size as a large table that would probably seat 6 or 7 people around. So it is a very large raven skull.
Wait, so the skull is the size of...
So it would have been a huge raven.
Huge raven. And it's kind of... And is it kind of suspended above or up on the wall, or is it up in the ceiling?
Where the eave is, on the outside of the building, it's kind of like right in the corner where the 2 roofs meet, and it's just there. And you didn't see it when you kind of like wandered in from town. It's only because you're taking a step back and looking up at the thing, you kind of like look up and you go, oh, there it is.
Is it the kind of thing that might be sort of a temple to Raven or a shrine?
Could well be. I mean, it's the longhouse that they're in.
Oh, okay. And has it, thinking back through sort of what Beradon knows through his study of lore, does that sound like something that was a common thing? Are stories of giant birds...
No, you've never heard of them.
In that case, you're going to look at it and just...
The most common thing, so the myth of creation is that when humans came from across the land, they were basically driven here, and the protector was essentially brought here on the wings of a giant raven.
Okay. Well, that's certainly a giant raven. Beradon is going to... doesn't really have any artistic skill to draw or sketch it with. But he's going to sort of commit the view to memory. And then he's going to sort of carry on his walk around the village.
Cool, yeah. It doesn't take long, as I said. It's really nice to be there because it's new and it's different, and you speak to people that you've never spoken to before. But I say it doesn't take long to make your way around. And then once you're done, I guess the shift kind of ends, as it were, and it kind of goes into the evening shift.
Actually, what he's walking around with, one thing he would like to do is just walk through the standard juniper trees.
Okay. Well, while you go and do that, what's Gray going to do?
While that is going on, is it possible for Gray to find a quiet little tree to sleep under?
Yeah, sure.
Before the performance?
Yep, to the north where the junipers are, or to the south where there's just like a small copse of trees.
The junipers.
Okay, and what's Andy going to do?
So they left when I drop all my crap in the room. We'll probably go and check the druid circle and all these things. So for me, this is perhaps the most interesting thing to do, seeing that,
Well, Handley, you all seem to be drawn to the juniper trees.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know if I will go with Beradon or we just, perchance, meet there.
Probably perchance, yeah. You probably will just, through chance, you kind of get there. Okay, yeah. So, Gray, you kind of like go and find a nice big tree that's sort of like there. You think, no, it's got a nice bit of cover. You can smell the juniper bark and the leaves, and it's a nice place to sort of like bed down, essentially. In the meantime, Andrew, and you're kind of like wandering through the grove of trees as you see sort of like the form of Gray kind of like trying to find a good spot to sort of lay in. And you also see Beradon making his way over to the centre of the grove.
We're all going to assemble and go into the grove together?
Apart from Gray, who's just having a bit of a nap. Yeah, you two basically wander.
We can see where Gray's snoozing, can't we?
Yeah. He's kind of like not too far from the centre. Okay,
Is Cass with us as well?
Cass is not with you. Cass is kind of sorting out her kit and doing some other stuff.
Blacksmith.
Yeah, she's gone to the blacksmith. Why not? Okay. Yeah, so you kind of make your way to what looks like the centre of the juniper circle. And there is indeed like a little stone buried half in the grass. And it's at a slight angle. Unlike yours, which is raised and sort of like it's all got sort of brooms and stuff on it. You can see that what looks like the one side of the sort of plinth has kind of like fallen in, so it's kind of like slid down.
Yeah, I just want to check the trees and kind of get a reading on how old they are. Kind of trying to see how old this town. I mean,
okay.
just bear with me. It's just, I'm kind of interested on the trees and kind of, wow, is this been here for a while, this circle, And I'm wondering,
I mean, the trees definitely feel quite ancient. Make a survival roll for me, please, Tony. If you've got herbalist, yeah, get a +1 for herbalism.
Well, that would be 1.
They've definitely been here probably as long as your trees have been. There's just not as many of them. It doesn't have as large a sort of grove. But as you kind of like start to sort of touch the trees, you do get like there's a sense to feel like it feels like home. You always get this feeling when you kind of are in trees anyway and in nature, just by the nature of what you do. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, if you want to feel like you want to cast a spell or do something, you can do. Alternatively, you just feel that sort of vibe coming from the trees.
No, I'm just fine. I just wanted to commune a little bit with the circle and kind of get a feeling of how old is this. And for me, the trees are perhaps the most important part.
Yeah, definitely. You get the sense that they are as old as yours. And there is a familiarity in the tree and the touching and just the shade that it provides and the protection that it gives you. And the sun continues to sort of like set as you spend sort of like the late afternoon, early evening here in the grove. It's a very nice place to nap, Marco.
Why no?
The anger and stuff that you felt from before floods away from you. And you all, if you're going to basically spend some time here just relaxing, you can be treated as if you've rested. But feel free to take a rest.
Boom.
Which then brings you to the evening.
Time for our... So, Beredon, while we are there, I'm asking Beredon, so what song should we start with tonight? What do you reckon should be a good way? I mean, these people seem that they have gone through harsh times. I think we should try to avoid any sad song and try to be very upbeaty and, jump around. I can flute my way and, perhaps you can, bring them some happiness in this evening.
I've got a little number I've been working on that sort of speaks of where we come from. It's a nice rapid little beat. It'll get people moving, dancing.
Very well, very well.
But it'll also start to spread word of where we're from. Maybe drive more people to come and seek it out, come and listen to our songs.
Perhaps we can sing about the Juniper tree, sorry.
The juniper trees are in there?
Perfect. I like it. I dig it. Let's start with that.
What about Master of Puppets?
We could just go with that one. Just lead with that straight off the bat.
What about the one about the stab, kill? I make a joke. I mean, we're alone, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I haven't had time to work on that little masterpiece yet. I'm doing that as soon as I sit and have a few minutes with some parchment to write about how wonderful it is to brutally murder travellers on the road. I'm sure I will not be lacking for inspiration.
Well, you kind of set up. They've kind of like made a little stage on the side for you. It appears the entire village is here in the longhouse. They have crowded around all the tables. You have a packed audience, it appears. You've all been given some very nice, what tastes like juniper wine, which is what they have, and a lot of smoked meats they have here. So juniper wine, smoked meats, and some good music, apparently. So, Beredon, would you very much like to make a performance roll? Now, does Anduin and Grey have performance?
No, we don't.
Oh, we do not. No, I do not.
Okay, I'm just going to look at Cass, whether I give performance to her. No. Okay.
If our tambourine player is the second most talented musician, I'd laugh so much.
But I do have drums. I
do
drum.
Yeah, so you can have +2, Scott, to your performance roll.
Awesome. So Beredon steps up and strums his lute. Good evening, Ravensong!
Dun, dun.
Ah, the Folk Vandals Club! If that's actually what you can do on a lute, I don't know. I've never played one in my life.
I don't think you can, but I quite like it anyway.
I'm not doing a drum roll on my drum.
There's a hardcore tambourining going on from Cass on the side. Yeah. Gather ye close by the hearthstone's red gleam, and I'll sing ye a tale from a land of a dream, where moonlight grows thick and the willows grow long. Lies a village of peace, echo Juniper Song. No banner of war ever shadow the skies, no steel broke the hush where the meadowlark flies. The river's warm sweet, the nights are so still, the time seems to sleep in the arms of a hill. The houses are thatched, the cobbles well worn, with gardens of thyme and of silver leaf corn, and deep in the glade by the old standing stone, the wind sings a tune in a voice not its own. Dawn through the mist rise the low bleats of sheep, and the smith hammers time while the baker stirs deep. Children laugh loud where the foxgloves grow tall, and wind in the juniper trees call us all. There's cider and song come the bright harvest moon, and fiddles that wake in the warm tavern's tune. Tales are traded for pipe smoke and cheer, and the stars leaning close just to better hear. The forest nearby keeps its secrets in shade, and none there forget how the village was made. By hands rough with labor and hearts full of grace, by keeping the old ways an honoring place. So wanderers rest where the weary belong, when they pass through the fields of old Juniper Song. Some hide their roots in the breeze in the throng, in the soul of a village called Juniper Song.
And kind sir, you can have an extra dice for that as well.
Boom! Now I need to actually find my...
Use your willpower. I don't know.
Once, add 3 dice.
There we go. Okie dokie. So,
I like it.
performance plus 3 dice.
There you go.
There we go.
It's a success. And yes, you spend a very good number of hours playing your songs to the town of Ravensong Village to much success. Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Scott. That was cool.
That won't happen every session, I promise.
I was not expecting a song. I like it. I like it a lot. It's definitely something we've never had here. I've started dice and, thanks. That's really cool. I love it. People are very happy with you. You get rounds of applause. You have made them very, very happy. The evening rolls on. You imbibe quite a lot of juniper wine. You eat a lot of very nice, tasty smoked meats. And you all go to bed feeling actually very happy. You've kind of played to an audience you've never met before. So it could have gone either way. You are full. You are well imbibed by alcohol. And you have a roof to sleep under, and you don't have to think about, staying on watch or doing anything like that. So next morning, you kind of wake up to the smell of breakfast. There's sausages by the smell of it being cooked on the hearths. You're welcomed with some tea and some sausages and some bread, and they're all sort of like still a little bit kind of up there and giddy with all the kind of the enjoyment that you brought to the town. And yeah, what would you like? They're happy to kind of help with anything that they can. Is there anything particularly you're after? What would you like?
Crispy sausages.
They can easily give you crispy sausages, not a problem.
Whatever the equivalent of coffee is in the Ravenlands.
Yeah, like some tea, that kind of thing. They've actually got some juniper leaf tea.
Nice.
Okay.
Sausages and tea sounds great.
Sausages and tea in the morning?
Maybe a few eggs.
Yep. Anything. Well, what's your plan for the day? Are you going to go back now, or are you going to carry on exploring? I mean, you've got your map, so over your breakfast, you've got.
Does the town have any sort of instrument players or anything?
They
could be considered a band.
They do not have a band. There is one guy that does actually play, and his name is... Where's my dude that plays? His name is...
Where's my dude at?
My dude is Caudle. He is a wiry guy with scarred up knuckles. He's got a half-busted chain vest scavenged from fallen foes, and he plays an instrument. He plays sort of like it looks like a chunky violin, maybe a bit of a chunky fiddle, that kind of thing. That's what he plays. So he's like your only competition.
Not so much competition, but like, would he be interested in playing with us a little set in the morning, or at some point coming to Juniper Song and playing a set there?
He'd love to do that. So he is one of the local hunters that goes out and fetches food for them. So in the evenings he dabbles. He's not like a full-on musician, but he dabbles.
I'm just thinking, if we're going to be meeting other musicians in our travels, the first sort of post-Blood Mist music festival in Juniper Song.
Yeah, that's a potential.
Could be something else to aspire to.
Yes, Cordell in that case will absolutely happily. Yeah, he asks for details to your village. So he asks for directions, how to get there. Whereabouts is it? And he'll obviously be able to trek there and back if you want.
Now, this is something we'll have sort of probably spoken about whilst we've been walking. What's our policy on telling people where our village is? Our nice, quiet, not particularly well defended village.
Well, I don't think these people are very dangerous, though. But that's why I didn't want to say anything to the rest brother. I would say we shouldn't say much.
I agree. I don't think we would go around broadcasting our address to every stranger we met.
So, how do you let him down gently?
We'll tell him as soon as we come back, he can come back with us,
Okay.
and we'll make arrangements and plans then.
Okay. He'll wait for you to come back.
I think what we should do is perhaps go back to Juniper Song to bring news of Ravensong and try to see if we can establish relations between the two towns. I mean, seeing that we seem to be fellow and these guys probably need some help. I mean, the druid already wanted to establish communications with our leader, which I don't know who it is. So, I think we did this. I think it's going to take us perhaps 2 more days to go back, or perhaps faster if we chop. And I think it proves that, to our town that we survive and we can do it again. I think we need to spread, our fame.
I know it says Scout Larkspur, who owns the inn, is the mayor.
No, the mayor is Sylvie Thorne. She's obviously happy to sort of go out and look for new villagers, if that's the case. She has always kind of, as have a lot of the mayors in the past, they're happy to try and do that as long as it doesn't impact the safety and well-being of the town. I mean, you're lucky enough that even though there is a main road that does kind of like go through the middle of Juniper Song, you have not seen anyone on that road for as long as you remember. You kind of imagine that maybe, looking at the map that you have, the natural body of that massive river probably keeps anyone from the north from coming across the river. The mountains to the side are obviously meaning that you're not going to get anyone coming through the mountains and the mountain passes, and you've got the shroud of the forest plus the blood mist that's in there, so presumably no one's coming to you. So once you kind of get across the river, and now you know that there is a way to get across that river, it could open up travel to and from.
Should we head home then? Once you've breakfasted and got all our stuff?
No, I think so. I think it's better to leave on a high note than repeat and fail.
We've got to come back this way if we're going to go around the mountains to Whalers Hold anyhow.
Exactly. What it would be good to ask before we leave is to know if they know of other ways to cross the river. I don't know if I can ask the druid.
You want to ask druid? Yeah, okay.
I will try going and asking Ethelwyn, like, if she knows any legends or anything about crossing, I don't know, whatever she knows.
She says to you, what do you mean, crossing the river to the south?
Yeah, I'm wondering. We came and I take out the map, I show her where we came through the bridge, and I show her, look, we crossed through here, but the bridge was destroyed. We were lucky enough to be able to cross using a ferry that was built by somebody. But I'm wondering if you remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it yours?
That's our ferry. That's our ferry.
You built that. What purpose does it have?
We've only recently built it so that we can start exploring further south. And in fact, there is a copse of hazel trees.
Yes.
That we use to sort of use in construction of, and she points to the sort of like willowy kind of like leaves that they use for sort of the buildings.
We saw that, and I saw that they were recently cut and
yes.
properly groomed.
Yes, we've been doing that for a little while.
Okay, so I gather that you don't know of any other crossing.
Make a roll for me. Can you make a insight roll?
Yeah. I was gonna... Anything to add or just straight roll?
No, just a straight roll. Yeah, she starts to get she gets a bit cagey when you start asking about, start asking about these different crossings and stuff. And she says, there is another crossing further up into the mountains.
Can you tell me where exactly? Is it dangerous? Because it seems to me that you don't want to speak about it.
It's part of our tradition. You can go, but you have to be silent. If you make a noise, you potentially could wake the beast that lives by the crossing.
What would be that beast?
There has been there for as long as we remember a family of trolls. And if you make any noise while crossing the river, you will wake the trolls.
And do you use that crossing, or do you never go that way?
It has been a very long time since we've used that crossing. In fact, before I was born. And so we don't go there very often. But there is a way. It is where the confluence of the river narrows, and there is a short bridge across.
I see. Is that the same way to cross the mountains and to go to the other side? Can we continue?
To cross the mountains? We've never crossed the mountains. I'm sure there must be passes, but you'd have to find the passes. We've never crossed the mountains.
Okay. Well, perhaps we will not go through there this time, but it's good to know. Good to know. Thank you so much. I will go to my town and I will speak with our leaders to see what we can establish. Is there anything that you might need for your
Anything
town?
you might need? Well, I suppose we can trade in smoked meats. We can trade in raven feathers. We trade in. We do have some corn, which we have been doing on the plain, and obviously we have juniper wine that we could potentially trade in. But you know that because you've already got juniper trees anyway. But they're the sort of like the main kind of things. But they don't have a huge amount. All the stuff they have is just enough to subsist on. So the stuff they gave you last night meant that they'll probably be slightly without food, or they'll have to make it last a bit longer.
Yeah.
But
okay.
That's
well,
we'll
figure it out.
But absolutely, they would love to have some kind of trade between the two.
So I will thank her and bid her farewell until next time.
Thank you.
Hopefully soon.
She leaves you with that. Does Gray want to do anything before you leave?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
And Baradon?
No, Baradon's happy.
Cassie is also very happy. So, you would like to go home, would you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, on the next morning, which, let's see, what's it like? Again, another pleasant morning when you leave Ravensong village. It doesn't take you long to go up that road. By the time you get to mid-morning, you get to the ferry. The ferry is there. You have to kind of get yourselves across, which, between all of you, is not a problem. Now, what do you want to do with the ferry? Do you want to leave it on your side, or do you want to let it go so it'll float back down to the other side?
No, on our side. We are coming back, right?
Yes.
It also means that there will be a rope from the ferry across to the other side. So if they wanted to, they could try and really pull and... Okay, that's fine.
We know, but that's why I think it's fine to leave it here, because if they need it, they can pull it back, but we can use it if we need it.
Okay.
Might be worth chatting to one of our engineers back in Juniper Song to see if we can work out a way of doing it from both sides.
That would be a good idea, yes.
Well, here's the interesting thing. You leave first thing in the morning, or more or less first thing in the morning. By mid-morning, you get to the bridge, and you go across the ferry. By early afternoon, you're back in your northern pastures. And before you know it, just before evening, you arrive back in Juniper Song. So actually, when you know where you're going, and it's not that far. And so by the evening, as you arrive in Juniper Song, you kind of walk down the path, past the trees, through the pastures, and you can see Juniper Song laid out in front of you, just sort of like over the hills. It kind of like gently rolls down the hills. You can see all the smoke coming out of the villages, and you can hear the bustle of people getting ready to go about their evening business as the sun starts to set in a very another pleasant evening in the Ravenlands.